People who say they hate superhero stuff seem to really like Invincible, which I think is kind of funny. People also compare it to The Boys a lot, which makes sense. They both started around the same time and they both had that Superman gone bad thing going on. But The Boys despises superheroes, and it doesn't follow the trappings at all. It's much more interested in other stuff, in showing off how mean and gratuitous you can make the concepts, in letting you know how stupid it thinks all this is.
What happens if, I don't know, I do this?
It's more of a political satire about what if superheroes were in the Epstein files. Invincible, though, is a superhero show through and through. It's got a love for this stuff deep in its bones. It's fully immersed in the genre, and actually spends a lot of time setting up a recognizable universe, utilizing all the tropes and cliches, so that when it decides to subvert those cliches, it matters more, highlights its uniqueness, and is able to shock you in all the right ways. It earnestly expands the genre's scope while remaining within it. The first episode showcases this very intentionally. If you've ever shown it to anyone, knowing how it ends, you can see how there's no way to see that shit coming. Because it's very purposefully setting up the show as just a run-of-the-mill superhero story, using everything from the animation to the line delivery.
When we crush the Guardians of the Globe and kill the president, no one will be left to stop us.
To the names and costumes of its characters.
All clear.
The building is clear. It's just us.
Evacuation complete.
It feels like a Cartoon Network show. The series is about Mark Grayson, aka Invincible, who's the child of the world's greatest superhero, a Superman analog named Omni-Man.
Don't make me get the spray bottle.
It highlights a more domestic side to superhero life, which in and of itself is a bit of a new wrinkle to this kind of story.
Looks like Dad's saving the White House.
Alone?
Guardians are there too.
Who are they fighting? Oh, Mahler twins. Looks like we won't be getting breakfast together this morning. Bummer.
And the episode does a really good job at tricking you into thinking the interest of the show is going to come from that kind of subversion, from something subtle and cheeky. There's more to the episode than that, though. A lot more. When the episode closes, who the episode made pains to convince us were important and were actually going to be some of the main characters of the story are viciously murdered in a whirlwind of extreme violence by our supposed Superman, Omni-Man. You've been trained to think that characters like that are of course safe. It's not even a question. Nothing like this could happen in a show that looks or acts like this one. But it does. And that's the moment that locks you in. That tells you this is going to go way further than you considered possible. That gets you excited because you honestly have no idea where it's going next. But the show doesn't now become something else after that reveal.
We'll take it from here.
In a way, it sorta does. Obviously, it knows its audience is aware of what it's going to be now. There's no reason to hide it anymore. And the violence is going to continue. But it still is what you thought it was. It is a superhero cartoon show. It's still willing to play around in a more subtle subversion. The only difference is that every once in a while, it reminds you that the fun is only skin deep. That the fact that it follows convention never implies safety. That in the right situation, things can go very wrong. That raises the stakes in every situation and lets the things that would normally render a show like this stale,
you guys just messed up.
Indeed.
Big time.
become markers of its commitment to its genre. And that makes its uniqueness stand out.
Jesus fucking Christ.
When you feel like it's hit a limit, or you know what to expect, it knows how to surprise you.
I do love your mother, but she's more like a pet to me.
The first season's emotional, brutal finale keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. But it's not for shock value, at least not completely. It wants to be honest and affecting, to sell its concepts in a way that can actually hit you. It has that classic cliche, join me and we can rule this world together.
All we have to do is welcome Earth into our empire.
But it injects deep emotion into it.
How could you do this?
That was your fault. Your stubbornness against the inevitable killed those people.
It puts characters we care about on both sides of the fight. It makes it a complicated, difficult watch.
My time here has been a speck in the span of my life. You don't know me.
This isn't an episode about Mark finding the strength to defeat his father in battle and save the world.
Please.
He's badly traumatized and beaten nearly to death. His earnest attempts at heroism fit the genre mold, but he doesn't save the day. Omni-Man is defeated by the psychological complexity of his betrayal, by his deeply buried love for his son.
Did you see that? Did you see? Oh, that was amazing!
Yeah. Yeah, I saw.
It doesn't scoff at Cliché, but it also doesn't do what you expect. Getting people to get really invested in superhero fiction takes a lot of skill, and Invincible achieves that goal like a true professional, by knowing how to pair violence and emotion the way that only this genre can, and enhancing both. The violence isn't the only place where the show is willing to push itself. As I already mentioned, it's willing to take what you assume about characters like Superman and twist them in new directions, makes you question the concepts you're used to without smugness or decrying it as stupidity.
Once I was old enough, I joined the war effort. Some species resisted, of course, but no one could withstand us for long.
It also answers minor questions, like where do heroes get their suits? Where does their funding come from? What's their relationship with the government? Superheroes always have rogues galleries, villains that are constantly returning and endear themselves with each appearance, both minor villains and major. This universe has Mark questioning whether he should be killing the ones that keep returning.
Kill him so he can never do this again!
You've given me no choice.
Often, these characters have loved ones and supporting casts made up of ordinary people. And this story takes seriously the idea that relationships between a superhuman and a normal person would be dangerous for them and difficult to maintain.
Come with me now, or this woman dies. Did you hear me?
It's okay. It's okay. I'm sorry. I have to go.
Its continuity has consequences, and Mark is deeply traumatized by the things he experiences. The world of the show is self-reflective, in a way born from understanding its own conventions, and that creates the depth that make you feel things like fear for Oliver when he joins a fight. Sure, kids participate in superhero stuff, but you know that in this story he's not safe. That's not how this show's rules work. People often accuse the animation of being poor or cheap, but I disagree. Definitely in the first season, you can tell the budget was lower, and there are a handful of moments I think are truly indefensible. But overall, the style and quality is intentional and effective. It contributes to that feeling of security and familiarity. The designs of the characters are often simplistic if you compare them to Ryan Ottley's work, but I find them clear and consistent with their comic inspiration, never lame or disrespectful. It's made to look like a kid's show, like all the other superhero content on the market, and that allows you to see what this kind of story, or this one, would look like if they were allowed to turn the dial up a couple notches. If the show used a more expensive or detailed style, it would lose that effect. And as a fan of superhero cartoons, I think that would be too bad. And besides, I think in the scenes that matter, in the big budget anime fights, you can see the production values rise. They look great, brutal. The best moments from the comic hit the right way, often with added portions that make them even better. These scenes are the focus from an animation perspective, and there's nothing cheap about them. I think the voice acting does the same. The line deliveries feel very in-genre in the show's more unimportant moments. Haughty, unserious, a bit lame, as if they're directed at a young audience.
Oh no! Why didn't you say something stupid sooner? Do your pals sound as dumb as you do?
But when real emotion enters the picture, when the stakes skyrocket, the vocal performances become deadly serious. The voice actors clearly understand and properly appreciate the gravity of what they're reading.
I don't care how strong you are. I don't care how fast you are. I can see the future. You don't live to see tomorrow.
Invincible is unique in superhero fiction, just by virtue of not being a DC or Marvel product. It isn't an interconnected world born of tons of separate properties accumulated over decades. It's building its world all by itself. It isn't just a story about Mark Grayson. It's a story about a wholly original, subversive, yet familiar superhero universe. That gives it a freedom that other, more kid-focused and brand-heavy content can't have. But it's a superhero story first, interested in doing something new with old ideas. That it doesn't forego those old ideas is as big a part of what makes it special as the new ones it adds. People talk about it like it's better than the thing that it is, like it's good for a superhero show. But I think that does both it and its genre a disservice. It's a great superhero show, and that's all it's trying to be. It knows itself, and it knows its audience. It's proud of both, and using stuff that's familiar to you is how it gets to you.
Dad?